Hello, I'm going to try this video one last time today, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Welcome back. It's been a little minute since I've recorded. It has just been a January. It's been a lot rougher. There've been a lot more life events occurring this January than I could have ever planned for. And I really just want to make a video to just give you a quick life update and budget update. I was hoping to play some games, but I don't think we're going to end up having time for that because my kids are going off the crazy. And this is literally like the 6th time this morning that I have restarted trying to record this video. I also recorded 1 or 2 videos in the last couple of weeks, but I wasn't happy with them and I didn't want to post them. So, okay, so we're going to start with just like a life update of flipping through my bullet journal and where we are so far. It is February 3rd. It's a Tuesday, and this is the 5th week of my quarter and my challenge. I'm going to let you know that I just finally took like a full stop break to my challenge last week, and we're just kind of trying to pick up the pieces this week. I was feeling really good after taking a week off and starting this week, and yesterday we actually had like a really good day with my older daughter. She's just been going through some rough phases, we'll say that. And then today it just seems we're not having the same vibe. So we're just gonna try and get through this. But anyway, this is where we are so far. So you'll see later as I flip through, I didn't even like make a challenge page for last week, but the week before you could see how I like barely scrambled to make it. But one thing that I did do well at is I'm doing really well at my winter bingo. I filled in quite a few scares. So we've had, you know, a big snowstorm. I'm calling it a blizzard. So we did snow angels. We've done sledding. We finished a puzzle. I drank hot cocoa. We had the movie marathon day where we didn't go outside the day that it was actually like storming, blizzarding, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, we did sledding. One thing we didn't get to do that I was kind of bummed about is we haven't gotten to build a snowman because the snow we got 2 tons of it, but it just wasn't good. We couldn't build anything with it. It wasn't like packing snow. It just kind of fell apart like sand, like dry sand. So yeah. One thing that I also haven't marked out yet, but is in progress, is I am reading a nonfiction book. I'm reading The Total Money Makeover from Dave Ramsey, and I'm actually really enjoying it as far as a financial informational book goes. He's really funny, so that helps. And also, I really, coming as a mom with small kids who gets pulled away every 5 seconds, I enjoy the fact that the chapters are broken into small sections. So it's a really easy book to like pick up and put down and just find right where you left off. Which I really appreciate because a lot of times when you get books that have like longer sections, it's hard to do. We haven't gone ice skating yet, but we are going on an ice skating field trip later this week for my co-op, so I'm super excited about that. Oh, we have had a snowball fight, so I can mark that off. Hold on. Let's get that one. What color should I do for the snowball fight? I mean, I've done lots of like icy blues. Let's maybe do this color, maybe this color. I'm gonna go with this one. Just a little one. My kids are little, nothing super intense, but it was fun. And yeah, that's as far as we've gotten. Reading tracker. I did finish doing The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. It's one of the Hunger Games book prequels, and I'm actually listening to the second one right now. I hope to finish that by the end of the day. The one about Haymitch, I forget exactly what it's called, but I'm listening to it on Libby, and it's been very enjoyable. I like couldn't stop listening. I've been up late 2 times this week just listening to the story. So yeah. And I haven't filled in any of my Read the Rainbows, but I'm sure I have at least 2 to fill in there. I really need to update my YouTube video list, but that is probably on my phone. So yeah, we'll do that later. And I still haven't printed out any of the thumbnails or stuff. I don't know. I feel like printing out all the thumbnails and like formatting them to be the right size just seems like really overwhelming. So for those of you that are YouTubers or journalers that do things like that, is there like an easy template or an easy way to do it that you want to share? Let me know. I have definitely decluttered more items, but I haven't updated my tracker and I'm not exactly sure how many at this point. All right, so this was my first week. We've already reviewed that. I did really well. It looked really pretty. This was my second week, which I'm not sure if I made a recording for, but I think I did pretty well. One thing that I added in was a Bible verse of the week. And originally I was assuming I would just pick one of the ones that I had read throughout the week, but in my Financial Peace University course, there are Bible verses scattered around from here like from time to time, and I found one in there that actually really spoke to me. And it was Hebrews 12:11, and it says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." And that just really spoke to me, so that's the one I wanted to remember for the week. Now, this is my tracker from 2 weeks ago, where you can see I kind of phoned it in. I didn't feel like getting into tape or colors, or I tried to make it a little bit fun and pretty. I was going for like a 90s, 2000s Heather's taking notes vibe. But I still struggled. You can see a lot of spots where there's some things that I never finished filling out, which I do have my steps and calories and protein and such, but I just never finished filling them out. And then this is where this past week should go, and I didn't do one. So I might take one more week off of this just because we're already into this week, and yeah. And I will probably try and plan a nice one for next week, but I might change the way I'm thinking. I'm debating whether I want to ease up my challenges to like kind of meet where we're at right now. Like I said, a bunch of unexpected things happened, and I'm going to be going over them shortly. Or if like a week or two off, take a little break and a little rest, and then come back and do it all. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, the Bible verse that I did for week 3 was from Isaiah 66:13. And I think I actually just found that one on Pinterest. I was just looking for ideas, and it said, "God is with you, even on your hardest days." And this was a really hard week, guys. And last week was a hard week. And yesterday was actually the first like really good day we've had in like weeks. It feels like it's just been a rough time. And then this morning is feeling rough again. So I don't know, we'll see. But that's where we are in terms of my journal and my challenge. So I'm not actively counting calories right now or trying to lose weight. I mean, I still want to, it's still a goal, but I just don't know if I have the bandwidth right now to focus on that goal. But I am officially under 180, so that's exciting. Like I said, I weighed in this morning about 178 pounds, and my goal is 165, so I'm like so close. So I really just want to like finish this weight loss goal and like knock it out of the park and be a healthy weight. But I also just need to pick and choose, and there are things that are calling my attention that might be more important in this exact moment, you know? And yeah, I've been so exhausted. There's been just, like I said, so much going on that I haven't even wanted to like stay up late and do videos, or if I do stay up late, I'm like listening to a story or just watching a movie, or just like I've had no energy. I'm just exhausted. So anyway, one other thing that I wanted to share with you before I totally get into this video, I hope you saw me move that out of the way. These are some tinies that I made that I never got really a chance to share in a Facebook video. So I'm going to start playing with them soon, but they are free on my Ko-fi. And so if you are looking for some fun tinies, they're kind of like tiny savings with a twist. So what I plan to do is like each little circle is a quarter for tiny savings. And then, so these ones are family game night themed. So every time you finish one, you have a free family game night to like reward yourself and your family for saving. Just thought it was a cute little twist to it. And then I also have it for family movie nights. And I put some of our family's favorite games in there, but let's say you don't have a 2 or 3-year-old who likes to play Candyland, feel free to switch out for whatever game your family likes, or your friends if you're friend group. But yeah, do like a fun game night every time you finish a challenge. And then this is the same type of deal, but the idea is for like a family movie night or like a friends movie night, like stay in and watch a movie, just have fun, eat some popcorn. And I did different genres. So you would definitely still pick the movie of your choice / age group appropriate for whoever is in your home at the time. But I made a fantasy, adventure, romance, a musicale, a mystery, and a comedy. So I thought those would be super fun. I think they turned out pretty cute, and I'm excited about them. This is my first tinies that I've made. So once again, they're totally free. Just go to my Ko-fi shop. I'll have it linked in the description of this video, and go grab a free download and have fun playing. Let me know if you do download them. I would love to hear it. Okay, so I'm gonna put that over here. Okay, So we're going to start with, so this is just like a small list of the like medical and emergency fund drafts that kind of came up. So the first thing that occurred is that my daughter, the one who I said we've been having a rough time with, she has been on the wait list at multiple hospitals for almost 2 years to go through some testing. And what I had expected, especially since it was a 2-year wait, that we would get a call and they would schedule us, you know, an appointment like 2 or 3 months out, because typically that's how doctor's appointments have always been for us. And then also with our insurance, the way our health insurance is I guess it's like a percentage of whatever the final bill is what we pay. So they bill the health insurance first, and we always get a bill in a mail later on. So that is not, of course, not how this happened. So like 3 weeks ago, we got a call from one of the hospitals that we've been on the wait list for. They said, we've got a slot open. It's next week and the following week. Can you make it at this time? And it was just kind of like a non-negotiable type of thing. And it was like, yes, we will be there. We've been waiting so long for this testing. Didn't know what it was going to say, but so we went to the first one, no problem. Okay. And then we showed up for the second day, the actual day of testing. So there's like a pre-screening and then a second day of actual testing. And I walk in and they basically said right there, like, you need to pay this $486 bill, or basically $500, or we're not allowed to let her in for testing. And there was no warning. They didn't tell me at the previous appointment that I would have to pay in advance or anything. And it was just, I was just standing there like, we've been waiting 2 years for this appointment. We are finally in this process, and I pay this right now with no warning. So thank gosh we had our emergency fund. And I was like, well, I guess that's what it's for. So whereas she's like healthy and she's okay. Yeah. But it was something that I was like, we need this now. It was completely unexpected. I never expected to walk in there the second time and then all of a sudden just land a $500 bill on me. So that I had to pay right then and there. So that was like, okay, it wasn't great, but it was okay. We'll be fine. We had, you know, $1,200 in our emergency fund. So Dave Ramsey advocates for $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. We happened to have 12, and it just made us feel more comfortable to have that little extra wiggle room. So 12 is kind of what we've been keeping at it for now. So that was on Tuesday. And then later that week on Friday, our dog started having seizures. She's almost 14. She'll be 14 in March. She's getting older, but she has been a healthy dog her whole life. She always passes her vet visits with flying colors. We've never had a single medical issue with her. And just out of nowhere, she just had like the most horrible seizure that her whole little body was just completely out of her control. There was like a mountain of foam coming out of her mouth. Her little legs could not stop kicking. She like lost control of her urine and her bowels, and time stopped. I don't know how long it was, but it had to have been probably at least 2 minutes. Scared the bejesus out of us. We thought our dog was going to die right there in our kitchen. So she did finally stop seizing. So my husband took her to the vet, and of course our vet wouldn't take an emergency appointment. So we had to take her to the emergency vet. He had to pay $700 right there just to get her seen, all in the same week. And then they looked through everything. They did blood work. They checked everything, clean bill of health. She's fine. Sometimes dogs just have seizures when they get older. They gave her a seizure medication. So we need to follow up with our vet in a week. So he brings her home. We give her the medication, and then it's like we're calming down, and I go put the kids to bed because this is, you know, evening by now. And I come down from putting the kids to bed, and my husband lets me know that she had another seizure while I was putting the kids to bed, just as bad as the first one. And then it was like, well, what do we do? Do we need to take her back to the emergency vet? Like, what did they say to do? He's like, well, they didn't say what to do. I'm like, you didn't think to ask what happens? What do we do if she has another seizure? So then after that, I went from like super calm. I made it through this really rough week. I'm going to, you know, say goodnight to my husband and go to bed, to full fight or flight emergency. And my blood pressure just dropped. And this has happened to me before. So then I realized I was going to faint. So I just like walked out of the room and sat down at the table and realized that wasn't enough. So then I like laid down on the floor and just closed my eyes and like breathed and felt the cold floor and tried to like ground. And I didn't pass out, but it did take me like a few minutes to like feel okay again. So after much Googling later, we decided that she's fine. She's not going back to the emergency vet. They told us to keep a log, so we're going to keep a log. And then I got her, you know, of course, this was right before the weekend. So then I called on Monday and got her an appointment for that Friday. We went back to our vet, and we didn't know how much that was going to cost after the $700 vet bill. Luckily, that was less than we were expecting. It was under $100 to see our vet. And they said, you know, she's fine. And they told us what to do. If anything else happens, we're going to keep her on the medication for at least 6 months and kind of evaluate. But, you know, she is an older dog, and we were terrified that, are we going to have to put her down? Is she dying right in front of us? It was just so emotional. And especially, and then, like, you hate to say this, but in the back of my head, it's like, I can't afford thousands of dollars of vet bills on top of hundreds and $1,000s of medical bills and you know, she's an old dog, and my husband and I are big believers. Like, I've had her since she was a puppy. I was the little college student who thank the Lord that he was watching over me. I saw a van, and on the van it said Puggle Puppies with a phone number, and I called that phone number and lived to tell the tale. But she's just been a little scamp. She's the best little doggy. She's still my puppy. She's the sweetest. Like, her fur never got rough like how dogs, she still has like her super soft puppy fur, but she's almost 14, and we knew she was getting older, and we knew she was getting closer to an age that we were concerned. And I was starting to think, like, you know, I really should save up some sort of fund for Nessie. Like, I know it's gonna get here before we know it, but it was just so out of the blue. Like, I thought there would be more of a slow decline to, like, oh, she's really struggling to move, she looks really uncomfortable. I didn't think there would be like a life or death situation. That scared the pants off of me. So yeah, but she's doing great. We've had no problems since that night. What we think is just we think the medication is working, but we think it just hadn't been in her system long enough to like stop whatever was going on. So she's doing so much better. We're going to keep her on medication. We're going to check in with our vet in 6 months unless anything, you know, really severe occurs. But she hasn't had any more since, and we're so grateful for that. So yeah, and then, so that was kind of the main thing, and the rest has just been figuring out. So after that, I had to pull all of my cash, all of my savings. I looked at every dollar we had in our bank account, in our savings account, in my cash games, in my cash wallet. I pulled everything out of every envelope. We counted it all, and we managed to weather through that very short period of time with lots of unexpected expenses. And I had to pull it from my savings games. I had to stop Saveopoly, which I'm bummed about, but whatever. And we had enough that we were able to restock our emergency fund. So we have $1,200 in it, and we made it through the end of the paycheck, and we're fine. Like, but there's no, like, it was so close, and it was scary of, are we going to be able to be fine? Are we going to make it to payday? Like, what? And I don't want to be in that position again. But so then some other, you know, kind of follow-up things that's like, we don't know, we're still kind of dealing with, where we've made it to here financially, we've been fine. But then after that, you know, where I got faint, and I kind of realized this is a pattern that's happened like 3 times in my life before over the past 2 decades. So I was like, oh, I finally realized this is a pattern. I kind of get really faint, or do faint, when I get into from like a really calm, basically half asleep state to an automatic like fight or flight state. I faint. So I messaged my doctor and I was like, do I need to get this checked out? And she said, why don't you come in? We'll check you out. And, you know, we came in and we thought I was fine. And then I got my blood work done, and my blood work was mostly fine, but there were 1 or 2 things that didn't come back great. So then she instantly was like, okay, you need to get an ultrasound. You need to do your blood work again. So that scared the pants off me, because I'm like, what, am I dying now? Like, what is happening? On top of everything, I'm like, I don't have time for a medical crisis. So then I had to go get blood work again last week. And then I had to get an ultrasound in, and I haven't talked to my doctor about it yet, but then of course I was forwarding everything to my friend who's a nurse who actually works with, so what was concerning was that I guess my liver enzymes were like high in my blood, but I sent all the results to my friend, and she like works with people who have like failing livers and stuff like that. So she's like, Heather, you're perfectly fine. Your stuff couldn't come back better. Don't worry about it. Like, so that made me feel a lot better. So I haven't heard back from my doctor yet. I'm sure I will like any day now, but yeah, so that just scared the pants off of me. So, but luckily, you know, I had 2 LabCorp bills. Those were both very cheap. I already paid them at the door. And then the ultrasound bill I was really afraid of, that was a lot less than I was expecting. I was able to pay cash for that with cash that I had on me. But yeah, so I still haven't gotten the bill for my doctor's appointment, which I don't go very often. So I think it's going to be cheap, but I don't know how much, it's just another unexpected. My dog's new prescription, I still have to get that filled. Like, she has medication right now. She's not out of it, but they gave me a new prescription for like to have more medication for her. So I need to go and get that filled. I don't know how much that's going to cost because we don't have dog health insurance, My other daughter had a checkup yesterday. She came back clean as a whistle, so that's good. Thank goodness. We'll get a bill coming in for that. My older daughter has therapy and meds, so we'll kind of get our typical bills for that we're keeping up with. And then for our dog, we kind of realized we really do need to start to save for an end of life expenses, which is, heartbreaking to even say, but it's the reality. She's getting older, and we don't want to be, when it comes time, I don't want to be scrambling and freaking out because I can't pay to take care of her. And like I said before, like, we don't believe in going broke to extend a dog's life, that they're miserable for my comfort just because I love her and will miss her. I believe that we do what's best for our dog and not necessarily what we want for our dog, if that makes sense. So I don't want to have to worry about, can I afford to put her down, or can I afford to get her this care, or it'll be a hard time when we get there. So I want to know we're financially prepared, and I'm like ready to cry just thinking about it. Okay. Yeah. And our emergency stock refund has been restocked, so we're good there. And then two really good things that happened is I submitted our tax return. My husband got his W-2 in, and I submitted those taxes before like the IRS was even open. So just this past weekend on Saturday, I looked at my bank account and our federal tax return came in, and y'all know what I use that money for, right? So I am officially, let's color this in together because I'm so excited. What color should we use? I'm gonna go with, I think, this purple color. Not that end, we need the thick end. I am officially debt free except for our mortgage. So we went through all of that, and we're still a little bit going through it. There's still going to be, like I said, some more financial repercussions, and there's definitely been a lot of stress and emotional repercussions. But we got through it all, and I am so excited to say that we are officially debt free, except for our mortgage. We still have the mortgage, of course. But in terms of Dave Ramsey's baby steps, we are now officially going to be on step 3, which is saving up an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. And in my Financial Peace University class last week, I just learned that for our family, since we are a single income family of 4, and also because we do rely on my husband's, ability to work overtime to really make our ends meet, that we really need an emergency fund of 6 months. And that's something that I kind of talked to him yesterday, that I was like, hypothetically, like something dumb happens, like you break a leg, like is there any possibility of you like going to work and being like light duty and just being like the guy that they call out for easy stuff and not being like the guy in the pit, because he's a utility worker and he's the guy, and oh my gosh, he's been running ragged because with the cold temperatures all the pipes have been freezing. So he just has been working around the clock. He's been barely home, and he's exhausted and I'm exhausted, and we've got all this emotional and financial stuff going on. So like the overtime is great, but also like, oh my gosh, this poor guy. Okay, so that one's paid off. Yay. Okay, hold on. Can we do a happy dance? Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I can't. It's just really good because it's been such a hard time. It's just a really, really good feeling. And we've been working on paying off debt for literal years, not as gazelle intense as Dave Ramsey would like, but like since we started paying off debt, we got married in 2013, right after I graduated from college. We had school loans. My husband had a car loan, like what else? I think that's all the debt that I brought in was just my school loans, and they weren't bad. I did pretty well. I went to a state school and I got a lot of scholarship money, and I worked 3 jobs through college. So really my school loans were minimal. which I'm very grateful for. But you know, when I graduated, my college was $25,000 a year, and I only graduated $17,000 in debt. So, and here we are. That was in 2013, and now it's 2026. Pandemic. We've bought a house, sold a house, bought another house, had 2 kids, replaced all of our original vehicles. So the original vehicle that my husband had a loan for is long gone. We bought, I guess, 3 separate cars in that time. My car's been replaced twice now. And we've grown. My husband already had a motorcycle coming into our relationship. He now has a second motorcycle that he's been building. I have a motorcycle that's been basically sitting in the garage since my daughter was born. I never get to ride it. I'm considering selling it. I really love it and I really want to ride it, but I don't have the opportunity to. I've got 2 kids that are with me all the time. My kids are coming downstairs again. But, hey, Gwenny. What's up? I'm still recording a video. Would you mind going back upstairs, please? Gwenny, are you listening to me, what I said? I said I'm still recording a video. Would you please go back upstairs until I'm done? I understand that, but I am recording a video and we have talked about this multiple times this morning already because this is the 6th or 7th time I'm trying to record. Am I going to have to pause it again? Or can you please respect what I'm asking you to do? Okay, give Nessie one more hug and kiss. And then let her get some rest and you go head upstairs and I'll let you know when I'm done, okay? Gwenny, I love you. Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right, so today is 2/3, but I actually paid it off on 2/1. /26. We are debt free. Yay. Okay, that's so exciting. So my question was, you know, kind of where do we go from here? And that was the other thing where I was like, okay, I decided I want to redo my budget and change my sheets because I was kind of struggling. If you remember what my sheets looked like before that I had made, let me see if I can find one. So this is where I was just kind of checking what all our bills were, and I was just keeping track by paycheck, our debt, our bills, our expenses, and our income. However, I knew I really wanted to know, so like for expenses, they're not like true sinking funds, but some of them, like if I build them up over time because I don't know when the expense is going to come, whereas some of them are obviously weekly and I'm like penny pinching just to stay in the budget, is like groceries or gas for our cars and stuff like that. So what I did was I added in some extra columns, and I also wanted to keep track of our account balances. So right now I have checking account, savings account, and emergency fund, and this is written as of 2/1 on my new sheet. And that was right after the tax return came in before I paid anything on it. So I wanted to show that in there because doesn't that just look nice? Now, technically our emergency fund is what's in our savings account, but the way I wrote this, because now we're going to start saving for our long-term emergency fund, is I'm going to keep that $1,200 in our savings account. So that way it is a little bit of a buffer, and that is considered like part of our emergency fund, but I'm also going to be putting money. So since our debt is paid off, and I used to pay $350 a month towards debt, my school loans, and my car, we're going to be putting that $350 a month into savings. And our first goal is to save up our 3 to 6 month emergency fund. So I want to keep track of how much is in there, and I'm going to keep that in cash, and this is going to stay the emergency fund that's in our bank. That will probably hit first, but if we have like a true emergency and we need to pull it out of the new emergency fund that I'm saving up, that's fine. So since I get usually 2 paychecks a month, we get paid bi-weekly, I'm going to be putting $175 into our emergency fund every paycheck. And I'm going to have that auto draft, and then I will like pull it out later. Whew, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to track that. These are our basic expenses that we're going to be putting towards every month. I didn't have anything in it, and I never pulled out cash this week because we're seeing how things shook out. But this is gonna, so I'm gonna have my starting balance, and then I'm gonna have my budgeted, how much I'm putting in from each paycheck. And then I'm gonna keep track of how much we spent during the paycheck or the pay week, whatever you wanna call it. And then the ending balance of what's in each fund. And so up here I have groceries, my gas, and my husband's gas. He still uses a card for his, but I keep mine in cash. Because when I leave stuff in the bank in the cards, it just disappears. I don't know what happens to it. When it's in my envelope, it's in my envelope unless I pull it out. We have a category for convenience / fast food, which we try not to spend, but realistically, I know it's not possible for us not to. My husband works on the road. He's not always at a place where he is able to bring lunch or access lunch. Sometimes he just has to buy food. So we try to minimize that as much as possible, but it is what it is. Medical, I try to budget $100 a paycheck because I know we have bills constantly coming out for my daughter's therapy and whatnot. And then I still have about, I think it's like $113 something that we still owe. I don't think I have it written on here yet, but we still owe $100 something towards the hospital for my daughter. So that's going to be coming out too. So I'm going to try and bulk that up a little bit if I can to get that paid off in this next paycheck. Homeschool, I prefer to put in, I think it's like $135 a month. Yeah, $135 a month, and I'll show you that other page in a minute. But right now there's $115 in there. Nessie, she's officially going to be a top number because we need to make sure we have her medication, and we, like I said, we really need to bulk up that fund. I'm not exactly sure how much it's gonna cost. That, like, and that's where I'm torn. Like, I think Endo Life Care would realistically be cheaper than if we have like another emergency vet visit. So it's just kind of it's just a hard conversation and a hard topic. So we're just gonna try and bulk that up. And I figure worst case scenario, when it's time and Nessie's no longer with us, if there's extra money in that fund, we can put it somewhere else. And we'll worry about that then. But for now, I just want to bulk that up as best we can, but realistically. And then I always try to keep some money in miscellaneous. Right now, I've got about $10 in it. So here is my savings and sinking funds. And this is where we're going to be playing savings games with this money. And that's where I'm going to allocate it to, based off of what we need in a specific week and just trying to build it up as best we can. So I moved. Now, emergency fund isn't really I just kind of put that down here also to be like, keep track of how much I'm putting in, but it's not going to be mixed in with the rest of these. If that makes sense, like in terms of my brain. Okay. So restaurants, Easy Pass, car maintenance, home maintenance, clothing, toys, gifts, hobbies, and vacation and travel. And that is one area where after we kind of got through the main of it, I was very happy to be able to put the $200 that I had saved back into it, and I have added in an extra $600 that was left over from our...
Look, Mama.
Wow.
I made it.
When did you make that?
It's you.
Did you make it upstairs?
I made it upstairs.
Why is there blue stuff upstairs? You're not supposed to draw upstairs. Do you have crayons upstairs?
Yeah.
You need to bring them downstairs right now, okay? Because crayons are not allowed up in your room because you guys make big mess with crayons and stuff. Go get your drawing stuff and bring it downstairs, okay? Go get it. Thank you. And then you can show me. Whew. So where was I? Okay, so when our tax return came in, first I paid off our debt and we had a little over $600 left. So we were trying to debate what to do with it. And I said, why don't we just put it towards our cruise? So $200 that I had saved up that I was able to put back in. And I was also able to restock our homeschool fund. Well, not restock, but put some back in. Yeah, so $200 plus $600, $800. So we paid $800 more towards our cruise. So we are getting closer to that. So we're going to update that tracker as well in just a minute. And then holiday and seasonal events. So we're going to be playing with this money, and that's how I'm going to do the games, and that's how I'm going to add into these funds. And then over here, I moved income over here since I have account balances up here now. And we have my husband's paycheck. We got I left an extra line there in case extra income comes in, such as our federal tax return. We still haven't gotten our state tax return yet, so I'm excited about that. I have a line for our mortgage. So this is our only mortgage, and our mortgage payment, as of writing this on the 1st, hasn't come out yet, but it probably has come out now if I were to check again today. But I know how much that's going to be, and I put an extra line just in case we get to the point where we're making extra mortgage payments. That would be great there. But for now, I just put that our debt payoff. And my Nelnet, my student loan, did manage to squeak out one more time before this weekend. So it came out again on Friday. So I wrote that down there too. So in case I'm wondering where that money went. But yeah, so then down here is our standard bills that don't fluctuate. And you can see that I have dashes because they won't come out during this paycheck. And then over here I have our fluctuating bills. So these are our utilities, our gas, our electric, and what we call the town bill. It's got our like water, sewer, and trash on it. Town bill only comes out once every 3 months. And these ones come out monthly, but they're always different. So I'm going to try and kind of make like their own little utilities sinking fund. And I'm going to try and find like an average and budget. So that way the months that they're really high, like right now, heat is exceptionally high for us. Then hopefully I'll have more money in my fund, and we won't have like, hey, we're poor this paycheck because the utility bill is high. But in the summer, our electric bill is high because we have all window unit air conditioners and they get very expensive. And the town bill, like I said, only comes out every 3 months. So I try to set aside $88 a month, and that's approximately what it will be. So yeah, there's that. And then this is what I'm calling our luxury bills, things that we don't need to survive, but that we have, and they're pretty negligible. So we have my husband has like a Patreon that he subscribes to. We have Hulu and Disney Plus for the kids and ourselves. We have Netflix, mostly for me and a little bit for my husband. But my kids sometimes watch kids Netflix too. Just a couple shows. Bethel is my church donation that I do. We have a Spotify. Well, my husband has it, and I don't want to get rid of it because I actually do use it a lot for homeschooling. Oh, your sticker. Lily got a sticker at dance class last night. Isn't it great? What a great sticker. Here you go. Thanks for sharing that. You can have it back.
No.
Do you want me to keep it?
It's ruined.
Aw. We'll do something nice with it later, okay? And then my husband has Google One that's like $3 a month to upgrade his Google space. And I am just cheap and don't. I just download things. Okay. So this is my other spread. So I really wanted to have a calendar page. I miss just having a calendar view of stuff, and I have a place down here for notes. So like, for example, my federal tax return came in, we paid off the car loan and how much, we paid off school loans and the remaining tax return balance. I just like having a visual of when bills and paychecks come in. So that helps me out a lot. So I added that back in, and I also have a monthly budget tracker because I do want to have like an idea of what we're spending per month. So ideally I will plan this at the beginning of the month and follow up with it at the end of the month. Yeah. And then it will just go back to our bi-weekly budget tracker. So I already kind of started this one for the next paycheck that comes in on Friday. But obviously it's not done yet because the paycheck hasn't come in and I don't know what it's going to be. And my kids are walking around me. So we're going to wrap this up as quickly as we can. So this is my game plan. My debt snowball money is going to be $175 a paycheck divided evenly. And we're putting that towards our emergency fund in our month ahead tracker. And we might put extra money that we find in there as well. I would love to show this to you. So I have this cute new book. So I have this all set up. I have 21 cards and expenses that I'm going to save up for in my month ahead. So first we're going to save for 1 month. Once I finish 1 month, then we'll probably do a 2-month tracker. And then after 2 months, we'll do a 3-month tracker. And by then we should have 6 months of emergency funds saved. I'm sorry, what? Can you please quiet down? Thank you. All right, so I've got Google One as our smallest, Patreon, Spotify, Bethel, my church donations, because I'd feel sad if I can't donate them. I don't do much. That's only $20 a month, but that's the best I can do for now. Someday I'll be able to donate more. It'd be great. Netflix, Hulu, and Disney. Arlo is our security cameras. T-Mobile, miscellaneous fund, because I'm sure especially then we'll need a miscellaneous. Town bill, Nessie, Chesapeake Utilities, Delmarva Utilities, Verizon, medical, fast food, gas for the cars, which potentially would actually, we probably wouldn't need that much just because my husband wouldn't be driving to work every day. Homeschool fund, state farm, our insurance, groceries, and mortgage is the top. So I've got 21 categories altogether, but it's 11 cards. So I'm thinking I might divide it by 11. But yeah, that's how we're gonna figure out. We'll figure that out when we get our paycheck. And then our paycheck snowball money. Disney savings are gonna go towards homeschool. I'm going to be starting Survivor savings because it's something that I have been wanting to do. If you've heard me say it, but I wasn't sure about how the funding, but like, girl, we have been surviving this year. So we're going to play Survivor savings. And that is going to go, and the way I'm going to do it is I already tried to playing like the first 4 games of the month that they already released. And I was really confused about like what to save for them. And one of the games really confused me. And that's why I decided not to release that video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a $10 pay to play. So whether I win or lose, I'm just paying $10 for each of the Survivor games that I get to play. And that's going to go towards our Nessie and our medical funds. I'm going to do board games like Savopoly or Penny Candy Land, or there's like a new murder mystery clue game. And I have an idea for another game that I want to make. That's going to go towards our vacation fund. And then I'm going to start saving with Tinies, Minis, and they're just going to go towards our singing funds. And then any other change games, like I have a penny tracker that I want to start using since I finished Penny Candyland savings. That's going to go towards emergency funds too. And I keep hearing mommy help. I think our time is up. Thank you for checking in with me. I hope to make another video I would love to do one today, but we'll see. But in the next couple days, and actually play some of these games with you. So, all right, have a great day. Oh, and do you like my new background? I thought it was so pretty. I picked this out from Amazon and it came in right before everything hit the fan. And I was so excited that I actually spent my hobby fund on this and a couple other things like the new saving money books right before everything hit the fan. And I had to empty all the envelopes. I was like, yes, I ordered them at just the right time. Okay, bye.